Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of your Astraordinary Coffee Chats. I'm Davide Censo.
And I'm Matteo Barbarossa.
And we are the founders of Astra Coffee and we are here to make your coffee extraordinary. Today, Matteo, we are here to talk about how to make the perfect mocha. This is a mocha machine. It's what we call mocha in Italian and is a stovetop machine. And today, Matteo, I would love if you can show us how to prepare and make this ready for a perfect coffee. But before we get to the practicality of it, why don't we start with a little bit of history? Where does this machine come from and why do we use it?
So practically this machine comes from the outer space. No, I'm kidding. So the mocha was invented in 1903 from Alfonso Bialetti, that is the inventor and the father of the mocha in Italy, in Milano actually. And mocha is a very particular object because it is one of the most sold object in the entire world, you know. And the original design, when the mocha was projected back in the days, they are shown in the Museum of Modern Art in New York. So it's a very particular coffee machine, a very particular method how to brew your coffee. It's very common in Italy. I think in Italy every kind of family,
everyone has it.
Yeah, yes. So I remember when I was a kid waking up and hear the gurgling of the mocha and this yumminess spreading around, all the aromas and the smell, and people hanging around the mocha. No, it's mine. No, it's mine. Oh, leave the mocha to me. I want more coffee. So it's a very traditional Italian way of doing coffee.
Typical sounds of mornings in an Italian household. Are they all the same, the mochas? Are they all like this? Well, this one in specific is bright yellow, but aside from color, are they all the same size? Are they all the same materials?
There are aluminum mocha, there are metal mocha, okay. There are also mocha they're made in ceramic. There are quite, the difference is not that big, there is a slight difference. One particular thing that maybe people have to pay attention to is the rubber, because nowadays there are silicone rubber on the bottom that leads to usually a better cup during the time, because that kind of rubber do not get that burned and the burned flavor will not be transferred into your cup. There are very tiny mocha, super small mocha for just 1 cup of coffee. Okay.
This is a 3 cups, right?
Yeah, totally. Right. This is the size of 3 cups. There is a 6 cup, there is 9 cups, there is also huge mocha like this that is for, I don't know, a zillion cups, something like that, or an infinite cup.
A very large family.
Yeah, a very large family, and a very large time in order to brew that coffee, you know.
For sure. Okay, great. So now that we know a little bit more about the mocha, let's see how to make the perfect or your extraordinary mocha.
Yeah. Totally.
So what are the parts of the mocha? Where does water go? Where does coffee go? And how do we prepare it?
Okay. So mocha practice it's a very simple machine. Huh? I'm gonna open it for you, and it's composed by 3 parts: the base, the filter, and the upper body. So there it is. Usually when you start to prepare mocha, you want to put your water into the base of the mocha. Okay.
The bottom part, the one with the little valve.
Yes, the one with the little valve. That is also the sign where it's the level of the water that you want into your base, into your bottom part of the mocha. The best thing to do is use filtered water. Please do not use tap water because tap water could have some chloride inside and could lead to overextraction and some bad smell into your cups. You want to use the cleanest
filtered water.
Yeah, the filtered water, the cleanest water that you can have. About the water, there are 2 things that you can do. If you want to brew very regular things, is to use room temperature water that you put into your base. Or if you want to do something better, something more accurate, you can use preheated water, temperature around 200 Fahrenheit, and filling your base with very hot water. What is the difference? The difference is in the time of extraction. If you use cold water, the time of extraction will be longer, and the time that while the water will pass through the coffee panel will be longer, and maybe you will have a little stronger cup at the very end. With preheated water, you cut this time out. The extraction will be very faster, but you can also create a lot of pressure here downside. So you have to heat the water, but the water do not have to be really super hot. They have to be hot, but not super hot.
So just not boiling. We're just preheating to shorten the time that the stovetop machine is on the actual stove.
Yes, totally. This is the two things, the two way that you can work with water.
And just to clarify, do we want to get to the base of the valve, to the top of the valve, to the middle of the valve? Where we want to have as water level in this?
We want to go to the middle of the valve, okay? Middle top, but not below, okay? So this is my recommendation. Some other coffee expert can say to you, no, below the valve. Somebody, no, above the valve. I usually say on the middle of the valve or above, okay? Why this? Because if you do not put enough water, you cannot extract until a certain point. But if you put more water, maybe than you need it, you can control the extraction by removing the Moka pot from the stove.
Right.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So this is a way to control the more.
You can't add water later, but you can always take the Moka off the stove.
Totally. And this is
makes sense.
It's super correct.
And so this part instead is where we put our coffee.
Yes.
How does it work? There is also a lot of confusion on this, I noticed. I never know if I need to get just to the level of the filter, if I need to go above and create the montagnetta.
Yeah, the montagnetta, the mountain.
Right?
Okay.
The montagnetta in Italian is a little mountain of coffee on top.
Yeah, totally. No, the first things that you have to do is put a lot of coffee. As much as coffee you can put in, create a big mountain, where you can ski on this mountain. And no, I'm just totally kidding. No, the mountain, no, it's completely banned. Please don't do that. No mountain. So you put the coffee, okay? Fill this basket with coffee, and then take a spoon or a knife or whatever you have and cut. Okay? It must be flat over here. Why?
Flat but not pressed.
Flat, but absolutely no pressure, zero pressure, no pressure.
So this is not like the filter that we go for the espresso machine, where we want to really pack it down tight.
No, absolutely.
This is different.
Yeah, no, it's not like a portafilter that, like for espresso, that you press it and you tamp it. No, absolutely no pressure. A lot of coffee, and then you cut. Okay, so you will have a flat base. Why this? Because when you put the upper body of the Moka on the top and you close it, you don't want to add pressure to your coffee panel. Okay, why this? Because when you extract the Moka pot, so the pressure of the water is just 1 atmosphere. Is the pressure of the boiling water, okay?
Right.
So you don't have a lot of pressure of the water that passes through the coffee panel. So this is the reason why you don't want to press it, because if you press it, the water will stay a long time in contact with your coffee panel, and this will lead for sure to a really unpleasant cup, okay?
Right.
Very bitter, ashy.
And we said before that the contact time of the water with the coffee is one of the most important parameters in the extraction of the coffee.
In every kind of coffee extraction, from Moka, for V60, pour-over techniques, espresso techniques also, absolutely. So it's the main parameter that you must have into your mind.
Right. And while an espresso machine has added pressure to push the water through a pressed down and packed tight coffee panel, here we don't have that. We only have 1 atmosphere of pressure from the boiling water that needs to come up through the coffee panel, and we don't want that to be too tight for the water to not be able to go through.
Absolutely, totally, okay? And this is it. No mountain, just cut it off.
Great. And after that, we close it and we put it on the stove.
You close it tight. Okay, tight. Bam. Okay.
Great.
So why tight? Because in this way you do not lose pressure when the water will pass through the coffee filter. Because if you tie it a little bit loosening like this, you can lose some pressure from here. Okay.
And also sometimes some coffee.
And also
water
sometimes some
comes
coffee.
out.
Yeah, and also water with coffee comes out. And your extraction will not be that good. So good tie it and put on the stove.
Great. So once we put it on the stove, and once we have packed our mocha and we put it on the stove, what is the temperature that we want the stove? And I know here we have sometimes gas stoves and some electric stoves, so maybe you can give us both parameters.
Yeah, if you use a gas stove, please use a low flame. Please use a low flame. There is no need for very high flame, absolutely no need. Mocha needs sometimes, so use low flame. Not super low, not the lowest, but something really slightly more than the lower one, okay? That's the correct things. If you use the electrical stove, I will recommend you to do this, to go very high at the beginning in order to create a lot of hotness around the mocha pot, and like after 30 seconds, 45 seconds maximum, going to a medium range and leaving like that. So this will create like a ramp in of the temperature of the water where you want to brew the mocha, and it will lead to a better extraction.
Got it. But don't leave it on high setting for
totally.
the whole extraction, right?
45 second max. Okay.
And then put it down to medium.
Yeah, and then put it down to medium. Okay. And that's it. So another important thing that I want to suggest you while you want to brew your mocha is to brew your mocha with the lid open.
Oh, that's different.
It's slightly different, okay? So there is two things that you can do in this way. You can control your extraction, okay? Because maybe
you can see the coffee coming out.
You can see the coffee coming out. Maybe you close the mocha, you see your stuff in the house, and then you see the gurgling, and the mocha boiling, and you don't want to have this, okay? You don't want to do that. You want to brew your coffee with the lid open. Also, with the lid open, there is more airflow around, okay? So in some tests that we did, with the lid open, it leads to a smooth cup, and a more clean cup, okay? Because with the lid closed, could lead with some smoky aroma, okay? Just leave the lid open.
The pros tip.
Yeah.
Right. So okay, great. And speaking of that, I think you just mentioned where we should take this out of the stove, away from the stove. We're gonna take it off the stove when we hear it sing or before. There is this thing in Italian tradition where we say, the mocha sings, and that's when it's ready.
Yeah.
And that's the sound, right? The gorgoglio, as we say in Italian.
Yeah. Totally. This is leave the mocha gargling for a lot of time. It's a very old-fashioned way to extract coffee. My grandma did that, okay? But will not lead to a great cup, honestly. The perfect time to take out the mocha from the stove is just before the sound starts, just before the gargling starts, okay? I know this is almost impossible. It's very hard. You must wait for your mocha like this.
Just watch it.
Wait, just watch it. But, when the flows of the coffee go up, you feel it that some sound start to change, and that's the right moment. Close the lid and take the mocha out. Okay?
Right. Got it. So you can sing, but the mocha shouldn't be singing.
Yes, totally.
Great.
Absolutely.
You can sing while you make your coffee, but don't make the mocha sing. Yeah. Okay, great. And so in that moment, what do we want to do? Are we ready to pour it?
No, we are not. Okay. If we want to brew the perfect mocha, we want to drop the temperature down. Okay. Why we want to drop the temperature down? Because from the heat induction that is transferred to the mocha, if you do not stop, this, you can overburn your coffee. Okay. So you can overburn the sugars that are contained into the brewed coffee. So you don't want to do that. And in order to prevent that, you take the mocha and you open the water and you put the base under the water, just the base. Okay, in order to chill down the mocha.
So you want to cool down the metal so it doesn't basically de facto continue brewing.
Yeah. Basically, you stop the brewing process in that moment. Okay,
makes sense.
This takes like 15 seconds, 20 seconds under the water, something like that, not more, so there is no need for more. On the sink, or if you have a big bowl with the water inside, you just put the base of the mocha, you leave it there for half of a minute, and that's it.
That's excellent. Thank you so much for explaining all of that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that we need to do before we're ready to drink it? I know that before we talked about other methodologies.
Yeah, absolutely. So before pour it, we want to stir it, okay?
Okay.
In order to adjust the level of distraction inside. So this will lead to a more uniform cup. Stir it. And if you want to have the smoothest mocha of your life, what you want to do? You want to do a bypass, also in the mocha. So
we talked about this with the V60 and
with the
Chemex
V60.
filter.
Yeah.
You can do that also with the mocha.
Absolutely, okay. Sometimes mocha could lead to a little bit bitter cup, okay, because it's very strong extraction, okay. So the coffee gets a bit overstressed in this kind of extraction. And if you want to recover a bit of this, you just put a little bit of filtered water, the water that you used before, hot water. It's better hot water, preheated water, if you have it. If you have just regular cold water, use that. So your coffee will be a little bit with less temperature, not that hot. But it's okay because the mocha, it's already brewed and it's almost boiling, okay? It's almost at 200 Fahrenheit. So you want to do that and stir it again and try it. So we try to do both methodology and tell me what you like more. So with the bypass or not.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Matteo. I think that we learned a lot about how to make an Astraordinary mocha.
Yeah.
And we'll see you again in the next episode to talk more about coffee and the pro tips. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any questions, post them down here.
And let us know your experience while preparing your coffee with the tips and tricks that we suggested to you.
Also, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more, hit the subscribe button so you can stay in touch.